Have you ever wondered why some people remain unwavering in the face of greater adversity? It seems they possess some kind of secret talisman that protects and guides them, doesn't it? Yet there is a secret. This is not just a coincidence. It is something far more powerful: faith. And I'm not referring to any specific belief system here, but rather a daily practice that involves intention, energy protection, and a commitment to spirituality that goes beyond what the eyes can perceive. Stories such as David facing Goliath or Joseph overcoming his trials in Egypt in the Bible show that faith is more than just a beautiful word. It is a force that opens doors and transforms lives. Does it sound more intriguing? David was a young shepherd who faced the giant Goliath, whom many believed to be undefeatable, with more courage than his size suggested. The battle wasn't only physical, it was a confrontation of trust and purpose. He understood that, despite his simplicity and the limited weapons he carried, just a sling and a few stones, his true talisman was unbreakable faith. This episode illustrates how spiritual protection and unwavering trust can be essential in moments where fear might paralyze. Picture your own life and ask yourself, what would be your Goliath? That seemingly insurmountable challenge that can be overcome with the same inner strength David demonstrated. Many people forget that David's victory was not instantaneous. He prepared himself mentally and spiritually before the encounter by meditating, practicing his aim, and tending to the sheep. It was a daily routine that built resilience and positive energy, serving as protection against any doubt. Herein lies the significance of small daily rituals, whether they be morning meditation, prayers, or even affirmations that foster prosperity and trust. Ultimately, if you cultivate intention and daily practice, you will reap abundance in times of crisis. This practice doesn't have to be complicated. Simplicity is essential to maintaining it. When David approached Goliath, he was not intimidated by his opponent's size or words. Instead, he relied on visualizing his victory and having faith that the Lord was at his side, protecting him like an invisible amulet. At this moment, community, spirituality, and religious symbols became indispensable allies. If you are going through a time that calls for courage, remember that true faith acts as a shield that keeps fear at bay and opens doors to opportunities. And when least expected, transformation occurs and victory is achieved. This leads us to consider another, even more complex example of faith and resilience. Joseph is a powerful example of how perseverance and faith can turn hardships into unexpected opportunities. After being betrayed by his own family and sold as a slave, he was sent to Egypt, where his journey of growth and development began. Despite the darkness of imprisonment and unjust accusations, Joseph maintained his faith that God had a greater purpose for him. This unbreakable faith was his lucky charm, his source of energetic protection that sustained him. Imagine someone facing today's challenges, whether they be professional obstacles, financial issues, or personal difficulties, and consider how the intention and daily practice of self-reassurance can make a significant difference. During his time in prison, Joseph did not succumb to despair. Instead, he took advantage of every opportunity to help others and develop his skills, serving as a clear example of personal growth through adversity. He was able to interpret dreams, which became his key to transformation. This practice of paying attention to one's own abilities and using them with intention can be applied today. When faced with difficult situations, identify your inner strengths and use them to grow and thrive. It serves as a reminder that spirituality and positivity can turn a challenging time into an opportunity to shine. Joseph's ascent from prisoner to governor was not just a personal triumph, but a demonstration of how faith can act as a catalyst for unexpected changes and abundance. Joseph did not hesitate when asked to interpret the Pharaoh's dream, because he knew that his practices of meditation, visualization, and confidence had prepared him for that moment. The message here is clear. Even in the most somber situations, growth and opportunities are waiting to be revealed. One thing this story teaches us is that perseverance and transformation pave the way for the journey of life. Now, looking at this story, we imagine another tale full of promises and hope. Abraham is a figure who teaches us the value of complete trust and the practice of maintaining a positive outlook even when everything seems contrary. He was promised that he would be the father of a great nation, but reality showed the opposite. He and his wife, Sarah, were already advanced in age and childless. This is a powerful example of how intention and visualization are essential to the journey of spiritual and personal growth. When faith and positivity guide our actions, we can achieve what initially seems impossible. It is like having an internal talisman that protects against uncertainty and helps us maintain our focus on our aspirations. Despite the passing of the years and the challenges he faced, Abraham did not allow the waiting to erode his confidence. He adopted the practice of gratitude, maintaining his faith as a shield against discouragement. Here, we see how keeping a high level of energy and a mind focused on abundance can be essential for overcoming uncertain times. Using affirmations like, "Everything happens at the right time," and "I am confident that the best is yet to come," are practical examples to use today. Small rituals like these help to strengthen faith and resilience in any situation. When the promise finally came true and Isaac was born, Abraham's story demonstrated that true faith not only brings about the fulfillment of desires, but also changes our perspective, encouraging us to face challenges. It teaches us patience and to maintain confidence even in the face of apparent impossibilities. It is a lesson in spirituality and personal growth that transcends generations, emphasizing that simple belief can open pathways to prosperity. Following this series of tales of unbreakable faith, we come to another example of resilience in the face of hardships and challenges. Job's story is without a doubt one of the strongest examples of spiritual confidence and resilience. He was a prosperous man who lived a life full of abundance and surrounded by everything that symbolized divine protection. However, in the blink of an eye, he lost his health, his possessions, and even his children. During an indescribable period of suffering, Job was surrounded by friends who, instead of offering positive support, questioned his faith and actions. Nevertheless, he did not give up hope. Here, we see how internal strength and the daily practice of trusting in something greater can be crucial for overcoming the most difficult times. Job had to deal with doubts and uncertainties that would challenge the faith of anyone. Instead of seeking quick answers or rebelling against his circumstances, he engaged in a type of meditation and introspection that strengthened his spirituality. This is a lesson that remains relevant today. In difficult times, it is essential to seek practices that help keep the mind and heart at peace. Simple rituals, such as intentional periods of silence or reading passages that speak about protection and trust, can be beneficial. Ultimately, spirituality can be a calming influence, even during the strongest storms. At the end of his trial, Job was rewarded with far more than he had lost, proving that faith, when maintained with intention and simplicity, leads to transformation and growth. This story teaches us that although fortune may seem to fade, spirituality and resilience always bring opportunities for renewal. The reward is more than just material. It is also an internal growth that manifests in how we perceive the world and connect with others. Thus, from a story of sorrow and triumph, we move to a moment where faith appeared powerfully in a challenging setting. A stormy sea with the disciples. Picture a night on the sea, the sky covered with heavy clouds, and a turbulent sea that seems to engulf everything around it. As the waves grew more intense, the disciples, fishermen accustomed to storms, began to feel fear growing in their hearts. In the midst of this chaos, Jesus calmly rested on the boat. Although this image may seem strange, it is a powerful lesson about the protection that faith offers. Jesus embodies a living symbol of the serenity we must cultivate to face life's storms, whether they be internal or external. A reminder that true strength lies not in trying to control the circumstances, but in trusting that someone greater is guiding every movement is when Jesus is seen walking calmly and in harmony as the wind and water become still. This act of faith was a clear demonstration that we can find peace within ourselves if we have the right intention and maintain a daily practice of trust. In practice, this can be accomplished by visualizing moments of peace and prosperity, which can reinforce positive energy even on the most challenging days. When Jesus asked the disciples why they were afraid, he was revealing an important point. Faith is a treasure that must be used in times of adversity, not just a tool for good times. Incorporating meditation and affirmation practices into daily routines can help strengthen this confidence and bring about a sense of abundance and protection. Consider setting aside some time each day to meditate, breathe deeply, and visualize your challenges dissolving, like the waves that Jesus calmed. And it is precisely in the transformation that these moments bring that we see how faith shapes our souls, something that becomes even more evident during difficult times. The most difficult times in life are often those that bring out the deepest lessons. When circumstances seem unfavorable and doors close, faith emerges as a light that guides and transforms. These challenging times serve as tests that shape character and strengthen resilience. Imagine someone experiencing a sudden loss or an unexpected change. These are the moments when inner strength is called to emerge. Simple rituals, such as writing affirmations of courage and confidence, or spending a few minutes in meditation focused on protection and positivity, can make all the difference. Spirituality has the power to transform what appears to be an abyss into a fertile ground for growth. One practical example is to use adversity as an opportunity to practice gratitude. Even during a storm, pausing to appreciate what you have, even if it seems minimal, fosters a positive energy that combats discouragement. People who engage in this practice report feeling a renewed sense of purpose and inner strength. Ultimately, the ability to recognize small blessings may be the talisman that protects against despair. Faith does not remove obstacles. It resizes them and makes them manageable. It acts as a key that reveals a broader perspective, enabling us to see beyond the present moment. Practices such as envisioning a better future and having a supportive community help maintain resilience and confidence. When we face challenges, it is faith that turns every small victory into a symbol of personal growth. If you have ever experienced a time when it seemed like nothing would change, remember that it is precisely in these situations that the spirit is strengthened and transformation occurs, preparing us for new opportunities and victories. Faith has a transformative power that transcends time and space, as demonstrated by the stories of David, Joseph, Abraham, Job, and others. The question is, how will you apply these lessons in your own life? Are you ready to view every challenge as an opportunity for personal growth and transformation? Even small practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations can be your daily allies in developing this inner strength. It's not just about winning external battles, it's also about becoming stronger within. And now, an invitation: why not start incorporating these habits into your daily routine and see how your life might change? After all, if these examples of faith have stood the test of time, who can say the same thing can't happen to you? Leave a comment expressing your thoughts and share your personal faith practices with the community. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can continue learning and finding inspiration. This is where your journey of faith and transformation begins.